Hey everybody, this is Allison Levy of Story Blessings Astrology, and here in upstate New York on a quiet Tuesday afternoon, the day before the Scorpio full moon. So that's what I'd like to tell you about today. Now, if you live in America and when you woke up this morning, today, Tuesday, you might have felt something different. If you notice that difference, that is the sun moving into Scorpio. So happy birthday, Scorpio. We're now in the new month, and we're actually already in the full moon zone. So full moon is in Taurus, and there's a lot to talk about with it. So the major aspect or pattern, the astrological pattern that this full moon makes is actually what is usually called a grand square. And in the cosmic consciousness astrology that I have learned and am sharing, it is called a grand crossroads. So there are lots of different paths we can take and roads to go down and different things to work out. And they all are in the fixed signs, which are the love signs. So that is Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius. Formerly fixed signs, and we call them love signs. Now, what's fascinating is that the full moon, so we have the sun and the moon, right? These are our personal planets. The sun is our identity, and the moon is our inner self, our inner needs. It's the reflection of who we are, and it's our inner reflective side. You could say it's our inner child, and these two parts, the sun and the moon, make up the kind of core of who we are. There's so much to go into with that. So on a full moon, this is accentuated. The idea of things coming to fruition and polarity, as full moons are always in opposite signs, of course. So here we have the personal part of this full moon is the sun in Scorpio and the moon in Taurus. So right there we have something we have every year. And this, the moon is happiest in Taurus. It's the most calm and easygoing. It kind of knows that things are going to be okay. It takes a lot to ruffle Taurus moon feathers. So we have that. And then the sun in Scorpio's purpose is actually quite different than Taurus, even though they share a lot alike. Polar signs are two sides of the same coin. So while Taurus is about steady as she goes, the Scorpio energy is actually about having new experiences and exploring new things and kind of questioning things and really losing one's balance because there's other factors involved, there's other people involved. So that security of Taurus is gone with the Scorpio. But both Taurus and Scorpio are really seeking that defined energy, that fixed energy. So there's similarities and there's differences. So we have that set up, which is also quite mystical. Of course, the sun in Scorpio time, we have the Day of the Dead. In the West, we call it Halloween. So if we're going to look at how the veil is thin, thinnest around the middle of the Scorpio season, we're also starting to look at these energies, how astral energies, how there's more that meets the eye. Scorpios can really, if you have Scorpio sun, moon, ascendant, and other planets here, you just know what's going on with everybody else. They don't have to tell you, So it can be very challenging for Scorpios to be out in public a lot. So they need to have a lot of boundaries and protection. So, okay, so we're starting to understand the energies here. There's a lot that can happen with this energy because things come to fruition with the under a full moon. So we have, again, this culmination energy. It's very, again, personal. Now, the next layer out, because there's a lot of other planets involved in this particular chart, tells us more about what's going on this week. So the next layer out would be the personal planets close to the Earth. And we have Venus with the Sun. Venus is, of course, retrograde. So we're connecting what we really like and enjoy. We're connecting to spirit. We're figuring out why or why not we might not have the things in our life that we want. That's the cosmic consciousness interpretation of Venus retrograde. It's a lot about it. In Scorpio, it's definitely looking very deeply and figuring out how to manifest. Okay, Scorpio is about actually creating as the alchemist. So the planet that is with the moon is actually Uranus. So this is an outer planet. This is a transpersonal planet. So it's farther out. Okay, it's farther out in the cosmos. So this shows us what the energies are interacting with, what parts of our selves are involved. So transpersonal planet Uranus, which is about awakening. You cannot forecast what Uranus is going to bring. Just like an eclipse, you really can't know what's going to happen. Uranus is our higher mind. It represents like the heavens and divine energy and very fast-moving energy, that quick, bolt of lightning that we didn't see coming and awakens us. So Uranus with Venus is awakening our inner, our heart nature. It's not necessarily love. It can be, but it's more about what you enjoy and what you like. Personal. It's very personal. Venus. Love is actually more about the moon and feelings of unconditional love, or love, what we call unconditional love. I think it's more of who we are. So that's maybe not even about a particular planet. So, okay, so we realize that already. The planets involved are taking us kind of way beyond ourselves, right? With these aspects, and then the next layer out, the third layer out with this chart, is Eris and Haumea. So Eris is with the moon and Uranus. And Eris is the feminine Uranus. So here we have, again, this inner awakening. So it's the inner awakening of like, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore kind of energy. Like finally doing something about something that's bothering you. And then with the Sun and Venus, we have Haumea, which is, these are both very, very cosmic planets. They're very far out. They represent the divine feminine coming back together. And Haumea is very much about this. This is being called the awakened light consciousness. I'm forgetting right now. It's like the highway to awakened consciousness. So we very clearly see a lot of this is about awakening. A lot of this is about figuring out what we really want, and probably figuring out how we can love more. It's because of the fixed cross, right? Because of the love signs that are involved. So the astrological signs are our consciousness. So this is particularly about love. In other videos, I talk about the other signs, but we're talking about the fixed cross. So, and the other huge thing is that the Sun and the Moon are exactly squaring the nodes of the Moon. So that's why this energy is going to be very eclipsy, and things are going to come out, things are going to come in. And then with the Uranus and Eris and the Venus retrograde, this really means that you expect the unexpected. Nodes of the Moon in aspects are often called a skipped step. So there's also something here that you haven't done before that it's time for you to do. You probably feel it, and you probably known it for a long time. And then Venus retrograde is bringing it up. So this is a really awesome opportunity. And the cards I picked for this the chart, I got the Emperor and the Four of Swords. And I saw that immediately. I saw that as like it's waking up our inner Emperor. Of course, you could also maybe say that patriarchy is also going to go to sleep. Maybe that's the other part to it. But our inner Emperor, right? Every time we pick up our inner Emperor, we actually take back the power from the patriarchy. So it is the same thing. So there you go. I think that's mostly what I wanted to get across. And it's 10 minutes long. I think that's a good amount of time. Thank you for listening, and I'm wishing everybody a very conscious and loving and wonderful full moon. Starry blessings.